Hi everyone, this is Lisa with Shabby Time Boutique, and I just thought I'd share a project with you that I did a couple of years ago now. Before I got into laces and stuff, I'm really into fairies. I love fairies and I love fairy gardening, and now my grandson is starting to like it. And not to mention the kids on the block that used to live here, they come over and help me. But I wanted to share with you how I did a fairy garden, or a fairy house, as one of my very first projects. And I found a tutorial online. I'm sure if you type in fairy house out of a birdhouse, you'll find it. It's a very straightforward tutorial. And like I said, it's been so long ago now, I don't remember who did it. But basically, I started with one of these small birdhouses from Michael's. I think Walmart has them too, I'm not sure. It's just a little balsa wood house. And the idea behind it is, for the fairies anyway, you cut this part out. You can cut it out if you want and make a little door. And that's what I started with. It's like this. So I just cut that out. And balsa wood cuts pretty easily. I think I used an X-Acto knife to do it. So that cuts pretty easy. And then the next step was to make the roof tiles, because this is solid. I think there are some you can buy that already have the roofs done, but I wanted to do my own. It gives it more of a shabby look. And this was before I even knew what shabby chic was and what I liked. So I'm still learning about my likes here. So what I did is I drew lines on the roof, and then the next step was to cut out all these bazillion little pieces. And for that, I used wooden popsicle sticks. And you can just buy those wherever. I cut off the rounds, and you can use the rounds if you want to give it a gingerbread effect, you know, a rounded edge. But I wanted it to be straight. So after I cut all these, and you'll notice I left them, I don't know if you can see it in the background, I left them jagged on the edges because that's the look I wanted. I wanted it to look like it was old and worn. And so the next step was to glue them all on. Just like that. So I did. Glued them all on. You start, of course, at the bottom and then overlap as you go up. And it's okay if there's gaps in there. It gives it a really cool effect. And you can kind of see it here, how it looks all shingled. Right? So that was the next step. And then the next, after that, is the painting job. So I don't have the next step in a birdhouse. So I'm just going to show you my completed ones so that you get an idea of what is possible. And on that tutorial, I'll try to find it and put it in the description box below. But on that tutorial, this lady, she shows you how to use paint to get a weathered look on your project. So here was my very first birdhouse, fairy garden, fairy house. So you can see I used the popsicle sticks with the rounded edge for across the doorway. So that part right here with the bird hole is gone. And I put these, I bought a bunch of little buttons and charms, and this of course is one of those plastic fairies that you can get in the kids section. I made my own little sign, and I used a toothpick to paint that with, I think. And there's a ladybug button stuck in there. Okay, and then on the side is a white fence and another little button and some moss, and then some silk flowers and moss on the house. On the back is a butterfly, some more moss tucked up under the eaves, and the fence with some flowers, another little ladybug. This was also when I was learning about glue guns and how to use them. That was fun. And then here's some more. And another little kitty button on the fence. So that was my first one. And then my second one was for Christmas. So here's this one. And this was so fun. And with this one, because of Christmas and sparklies, I used some sparkle paint over all the weathered look stuff. And you can see I learned on this again how to make these little fence parts. Sorry if I went out of frame. And then I made that up, Fairy Christmas. My daughter thought it was goofy, but it was fun. I put a little bit of holly under there. And then here's some buttons that I cut off the shanks and used. And on the inside, that's a Christmas tree sticker from Recollections. And I just stuck it to the back. Made a little rug in there. I don't think I made that. I think Rebecca made that. I think my daughter made the rug. And then you can see the little trim and the little Christmas lights. I just loved it. And the bells. And they're dusty. And then here's the roof. This time I did it and I used some white to give it a frosting effect. Like it was a cold day. Not frosting like on a cake. And then here's some trim. And then again the white fence with a Christmas ball. And a small pine cone. And then on the back I thought this owl was adorable. Another button. Another Christmas ball. And oops, that came off. Anyway, there's some more Christmas lights. And a snowflake button on the point of the roof. And I did that on the front too. You probably saw it. Right there. Okay, so that's my Christmas house. I hope you like it. It's pretty fun. And then on my last one that I did, well, on my last fairy house, I wanted to make one for Valentine's Day. But I didn't want to use the same colors for the roof that I had before, the browns and the greens, because it's Valentine's. So I used a lot of pink and some purple. So here's my Valentine house. And this time, instead of painting, I used paper. So I was being introduced to paper crafting. So I found this Valentine paper and put it on there. And these came from the Dollar Tree. And these little ones. And the pink rickrack as a trim gives it kind of a Hansel and Gretel-y look, huh? And I painted the whole thing pink first. And there's my fence again. And I just left this plain. And on the back is the fence with the butterfly. And that same paper, I think, is just cute. And then on the side, another fence. But then the roof, I'm really proud of this roof, you guys. I used pinks and the white for the frost and then some purple glitter, and I just loved the way it came out. It's hard to tell with this camera angle, but yep. So you just take a birdhouse, and you can see this time I used this sticker to cover up that hole, which goes about 2 fingers worth up. So it worked. I would encourage you, once you get, the main thing for me was of course it's cutting all these popsicle sticks. But if you have strong fingers and you can just snap them, that would be great. I eventually started using, and you know, I hope I don't go to crafter's hell for it, but I started using my wire cutters and cutting them, because it put the, when you press it, it would put the score line on the sticks, and then I'd go back and just and it got really fast. So yeah, there's my houses, and I hope this inspires you to get out there, make it a good one, and go craft something.